Hey, welcome back to Rob's Garage Woodworking. Today I'm going to show you how I do the rear brakes on my Honda Civic, and this covers Honda Civics from 2016 and up. I'm going to use a scan tool. This one is the Innova 5160 RS. There's three of them that you can get that will cover the ABS function, so they say. The tools you will need. Okay, I used like this little impact gun with the Phillips bit. I used a mini sledge. I used, and you don't actually need this tool. You don't actually need the mini sledge. I like it. An impact gun, which you don't actually need. I used a caliper compression tool, which you don't actually need. You can use a C-clamp. I like these tools. I have these tools because I do this kind of work all the time, and yeah, you just buy it because it just saves you time. Okay, now you're gonna need some brake lube, like it's a special high temperature brake grease, and then some anti-seize compound if you live in Canada. If you're in the southern states or something, you probably don't need that. I used a pair of needle nose pliers, ratchet. We've got, this one is what size here? 12 millimeter socket, 7 millimeter hex bit, 17 millimeter socket, and for the wheels another 17 millimeter socket. I used the impact one for the gun. So I also used two different torque wrenches. I got a big guy here and then a smaller one. You can actually use the smaller one for both. You don't necessarily need to buy two torque wrenches. You can get one that covers everything. All right, step one, we're going to chock the front wheels so that the car doesn't move. I use some bricks. I kick them in. All right, so if you don't have an impact gun, you're going to want to loosen these nuts before you raise your car up. It's easier with a braking bar, and I believe these are 19 millimeters. So just give them about half turn to a turn. Braking bar makes light work out of it. Remember, every other one. So skip one, go to the next one. All right, loosen her up. Make sure you get all 5 of them. All right, so there's a flange that runs all the way down the car, and then there's one part that sticks down further, and it's closer to the back of the car and to the front of the car. There's one up there, and there's one back here. So we're going to put our jack right under that flange, make sure the weight is on the flange, okay? All right, so the cup of the jack is on that. You can see both sides are touching, all right? And that way. All right, and for safety, you want to put an axle stand under some part of the frame, not the exhaust or anything, but under part of a frame member like this. So that's part of your suspension arm, okay? So that's strong enough to hold the car. So you put that under. If your jack fails, that it won't land on you, okay? The car won't fall on you. So, okay. So we're going to remove the wheel. Remember, 1, skip 1, 2, skip 1, 3, skip 1, 4, skip 1, 5, right? So, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, sometimes the wheels are rusted on. Sometimes you'll really have to kick them. Mine will come off because I put a little bit of anti-seize around there. So they'll come off pretty easily. All right. So you have your scan tool, right? So the one that I picked up was the Innova 5160 RS. I got a higher end model, not the highest end, because I wanted to make sure that it did the job. All right. That white coupler here, that's your diagnostic port. That's what you're going to plug this guy into. Plug that in. So we're on our main menu. We go down to Service Reset, and we hit Select. And then we're going to go down to EPB Reset. So we'll scroll down to that, and we're going to hit Select. And we're going to hit Anti-Lock Braking System, Select. Brake Pad Maintenance Mode. So we're going to select that. Okay, enter maintenance mode. So we're going to select enter maintenance mode. Check that following conditions are fulfilled. Stop the vehicle, release parking brake, and all that. And everything is good. So we're going to press yes. And it takes up to 25 seconds. Then we're going to say yes. And then, I don't know if you could hear that, but it just put that in brake maintenance mode. So, brake pad exchange mode. Perform rear brake maintenance. When pad maintenance is complete, you must return to normal mode in order to return pad position to original. Alright, so we go and we do our maintenance. Alright, first thing we have the Phillips screw that has to come out. So, put your screwdriver bit in and a mini sledge. Put that inside, don't hit your fingers. Give that a couple of solid taps. I just use a small impact. Put this on. Whoops. Back it out. Now, these guys here, what are these? I think they're Allen keys or something. Let's send. If it's too tight, use a braking bar. Braking bars are a little bit longer than your ratchet. There we go. And then just take it out. There we go. Pull those out. You're just gonna put new ones on anyway. Not too worried about that. Why does that one not want to come out? There we go. Okay. That is really tight. That really is tight. Okay. I'm just going to hang that up there. I'll take this one off. Okay, these are really, really worn. Okay, I got my money's worth out of these. Alright, I'll take this off here. Looks like they are 17. Braking bar. Put that on. Where am I going to put this? Doesn't get damaged. There we go. Whew. Finish this up with your ratchet. You should be able to remove the rest of it by hand. Alright, take these guys off. Remove this. And we'll clean this up. Let's pop this off. Alright, give this a quick clean. These are all beat up. See how there's like dropouts and things? That's what makes the noise. And get rid of those. Knock some of the crap off of it here. Clean all the threads. These guys right here. Push these out. And we're going to lube them up and clean them up and put them back in. There we go. So we're going to clean this up a little bit because the caliper's got a slide on it. So we're going to give that a little scrub. And give the whole thing a scrub. The wire brush. Then, for the whole thing, I'm going to give it a quick rinse with some brake cleaner. Certified brake cleaner. Get the rotor all the way around. Front and back. Get the grease off of it. And then I'm going to give these guys a little shot of it also. Clean everything up as much as possible. And wipe all the grease off it. There's like oil on these for shipping so that they don't rust. So you want that oil off. And we're going to wipe this off. And then these guys here, want to clean these up as much as possible. Because these are the slide pins they're supposed to slide. So they should be clean. So because we've retracted the motor inside, with the by setting it to maintenance mode, we should be able to push the piston back in without any issue. So this guy in. So it fits. Okay. And this is a piston compressor. So I'm gonna put this in. And this should go in without really any resistance. It feels pretty good. Push it all the way in. Let's get a good look there. Should be far enough. Let's see how that works. And because I live in Canada and I get a lot of salt and problems here, I'm going to put anti-seize around here so I can get my stuff back off. And everybody's going to say, oh no, you can't do that. Well, I live in Canada, and yeah, there's a reason why we do stuff here in Canada. So, find out where your set screw is. Line it up with the proper spot here. And I'll put that on. You don't need to. Like, if you broke that, getting it out, drill it out, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Once the wheel goes up back on it, it'll be fine. It's not coming out. Because I live in Canada, I'm going to give a little shot of that there. Because I want it to come back out later. Okay, put it in all the way. Check your bearing, feel that it's free. Okay, now we're going to put the bracket back on. Now the bracket, this bracket here, these pads slide back and forth in the bracket, to a degree anyway. So, we're going to use some brake grease. We're going to put that on those parts that are supposed to move. Okay? So, we get some in here. These fit in this way. Okay. Let's put our bolts back in that. And once again, Just get a little touch, and he sees. Because I live in Canada, and I want them to come back out. So let's line that up. Okay. Now that needs to be tightened. Dial this wrench back to 55. So, how are we going to get this in? Really kind of difficult. I'm going to do it from this side over here. Kind of under the car. Okay. Once it clicks, you're good. Do the top one here. You only get like 1 or 2 clicks here. Okay, that's good. We have to put our pads in. So it's the outside pad. You just put that in like that. The inside pad has a squealer down at the bottom. As it turns forward, it'll push that in when it's time to replace it. It'll make some noise. And you just slide that in. Just like so. So, the piston here, you don't want the rubber boot to stick out past the piston. Sorry. I'll put a little brake grease on that as well. Just a touch. And then we'll put it on, like so. Slide it into place. Okay, now these pins, these are our slide pins. They also get grease on them. And this is why a lot of people wear gloves, because you get this crap all over you. Threads, I'm going to give them just a touch. And he sees. Slide that right inside. Okay. There we go. That one's started. Get your other one. Get your grease on it. Okay. And we're going to slide that in. Push her all the way in. And then, because of the spring on this, we're going to have to push this down a bit. Yeah, it's a little tricky. Push in here, push it down, try to start it. There we go. So tighten this in by hand. And then, once it's all the way in, these don't have a lot of torque on them. So, get them all the way in. And we're going to adjust our torque wrench. Okay, set your other wrench to 17 foot-pounds. And then, got to get this in here somewhere where it reaches. And then, yeah, not a lot of pressure on these at all. Remember the dust caps. Clean off your dust caps. Push your dust cap in all the way. Each one has a dust cap. Okay, put those in. That's good. And that will be able to slide back and forth. See how it moves. Okay, you've got to push that all the way in. Okay. So it has to go all the way in. Goes in quite deep. Okay, so push that all the way in. And then this one goes in as well. And this thing, there was an easy way to do it, and I can't remember which way it was. Something like that. Like you push it in and push this under at the same time. Oh yeah, that's the easy way. That worked out really well. Okay, so make sure this is all the way in. All the way in. Okay. Okay. slide that on. I'm going to hand start it. I was start at the top. Once you get it sort of half in, put your foot at the bottom, and then you can start these easily. All right. Once they're hand started, shoot them on a little bit. Want the wheel to go on firmly, right? So just start it, and then once your wheel's on all the way, give it a couple of clicks. Remember, first, skip, second, skip, third, skip, fourth, skip, fifth, right? Second, third, fourth, fifth. Once you drop the car, then you are going to torque these off to your final torque. All right, remember, after you're done, you got to torque off all your wheel nuts, your lug nuts. These are set to 80 pounds. Okay. Okay, so we're on our main menu. We go down to Service Reset, and we hit Select. And then we're going to go down to EPB Reset. So we'll scroll down to that, and we're going to hit Select. And we're going to hit Anti-Lock Braking System, Select, Brake Pad Maintenance Mode. So we're going to select that. After you do your maintenance, you hit Enter. And you want to go to Leave Maintenance Mode. So you scroll down, you hit Leave Maintenance Mode, Enter. Check that the following: stop the vehicle, no parking brake, no DTCs on the system, blah blah blah. Hit Yes. Please note it takes up to 25 seconds to do this job. That's fine. Hit Yes. And you can hear the brakes again going back into regular mode. Okay, pad was moved to its original position. This function procedure is finished. Press Enter. Go to Exit. Now that we've done that, what we're going to do is pump up our brakes. We are going to press the brake and push the parking brake on. Alright, so you lift up on the parking brake lever, lift that up. Now the parking brake is on. There we go. Just press it again and then push that down. It'll release it. And I'm going to start the engine. Now we're going to press the brakes again. And we're going to put the parking brake on, and the light is on for parking brake, and we're going to press the brake again with our foot and then push down on this, and that'll release the parking brake. And that's it. There's no codes on here. Right. So here we are. We have no codes. Alright, everything is good. That means that's just the door being open. Close the door and that disappears. Alright, so no codes, everything is good, and your brake job is complete.